What is hell? I think it's a state of confusion and suffering. People, you say, he's living in a hell realm. No? If you can witness someone, he's living in a hell realm. No? And he's living just in a pain and confusion.
Let's see what Jean-Paul Sartre said, hell is other people. That is, hell is not getting along with other people. Hell is being afraid of other people, to just draw on existential thinking. Hell is being uncomfortable in your own skin. Hell is not being a comfortable animal. I like cats. Cats will flop down on the ground and be one with the earth and be in total bliss. I want to be as comfortable on this planet as my cat is. Hell is probably a result of trauma in which we got so afraid of being ourselves, being around others, afraid of punishment, afraid of danger, that we're wary and paranoid. Then we're afraid of people all the time, and it usually takes the form of anger, but anger is thin. It's sorrow, it's a sad loneliness, and the fear that keeps us from solving it by moving toward other people constructively and lovingly. That would be the worst hell I think we can come up with as human beings. Hell is being trapped in our own separateness, in our fantasy of not being connected to others, in our fears that keep us from reaching toward others and forming relationship and community. Hell is that awful loneliness. Ultimately, it is separation from ourselves. It is being so divided within that we don't even know what our body is feeling. That can all be fixed. That is a project that one can come to terms with.
Well, from my NDE, it was very clear that there is no eternal hell and damnation. That made zero sense. Part of that, of course, was my recognition that reincarnation is the only way to make sense of so many facets of this journey, that our souls come here again and again, all in that process of ascendance, of soul groups, towards that oneness with the divine. But it occurs over many incarnations, not one, and is a beautiful tapestry. So there is no eternal hell and damnation. Now, the life review, that old saying, your life flashes before your eyes. I think many, especially those who have handed out lots of pain and suffering to others, will have a life review where they have to feel the impact of their actions on others. When you hear life reviews, and I hear many of them from the thousands of people I interact with in my talks, from ordinary people who have had these extraordinary near-death and shared death experiences, and then have a life review, if you've been an evil person, your life review will look exactly like hell. The thing is, it's not eternal. It's a corrective mechanism. It's a way that we then, in reuniting with our higher soul, and of course realizing that in the life review, boundaries of self disappear, because the lessons of a life review come from our feeling the impact by becoming the other beings around us and feeling the results of not only our actions but our thoughts. And this is a very powerful kind of concept that comes out of the near-death experience literature. Life reviews go back thousands of years. And that is what I believe the notion of hell comes from, is from the life review of people who have led particularly difficult and challenging lives of handing out pain and suffering.
Cause is the self-made up identity, which inherently has a belief that it's a body. So it's the body identification that is hell. That is the cause of hell, because in the body identification, I am separate from you, we are different, etc., etc., etc. None of that is true. We're not different. We're not separate. So what happens, the body changes form, of course. Everything changes form in this world that I made up. That tree behind me is an old mango tree. Another 50 years, that won't be standing there. It'll be gone. But what happened? What happened actually is nothing happened. It just changed form. So the energy that you and I are, which is unlimited, takes a form. But it has nothing to do with who we are. So the teaching that the West lacks, which is that the mind is in the body, and therefore it always teaches a unity of mind and body.
It's that uneasiness, it's that unhappiness, it's the sadness, it's things that you don't take time out to fix in your life that you need to work on. You create your own hell. I can give you a prime example. My dad was like, you know, he came from a very primitive Baptist religious backdrop. His father was a minister, and his older brother was one. He was a deacon in the church, and they lived by the Bible and the judgment and all of that stuff that they go through. He would do that on Sunday, but Monday through Saturday, he was hell on wheels. You know, hateful, mean, abusive to my mother, abusive to me, yada, yada, yada. He resented the fact I was his only child and was gay. Or he was, you know, you are hell bound, yada, 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 yada. And I saw him 3 days before he died 3 years ago. And that evil, it ate him up. And I said, he is headed straight to hell. Why? You know why? Because he did not want to forgive himself, forgive me for being, and accept what God had created me to be, whether it was against his religion or whatever. And he took it to his grave. I gave him every opportunity. He swore up and down, I'll never accept it. I'm not going to go there. I said, that's a choice you made. You're on your own. Well, yeah, I think the devil is sort of like a cartoon character that we've created in our minds according to what people have told us, is all that is, as I see it. You know, I don't buy into it because it's not authentic. You see right through it. I mean, God give us all common sense to know right from wrong. We just don't do right all the time and expect something different. But the difference is none of us have the right to judge. And that's where a lot of traditional religions go wrong. If you live a good life, it's blissful. If you're a bitch, you're going to hell. Sorry.
Well, a lot of people are worried about the idea of going to hell. They don't realize they're already there. Because anything that is not heaven is hell. You know, you think of all those things that people put in books, all those drawings of what hell looks like. You know, people burning to death and being decapitated and all their limbs all over the place and all these ugly faces. Well, if you really think about it, that can happen to you here. You know, you don't have to go to hell to have that happen. That can happen here because this is hell, because anything that is not perfect oneness with God is not heaven. So there's the two things right there. Now, sometimes it can seem like fun being here, but that's duality. And eventually it's all going to turn to crap. I'm not saying that because I'm a pessimist. I'm just saying that because it's a fact. That's what happens. And what we want to do is we want to go back to a world where there are no opposites, where there's no such thing as death and all these terrible things that can happen. And that is heaven. And ultimately, that's the choice that needs to be made. You can keep choosing with the ego and stick in hell and stay here, or you can go home, which is the opposite, really, of hell.